Happy birthday, my fellow Leos. I'm Mich Monk. Lions and lionesses are rocking it out in July and August. My birthday was a couple days ago, and my hubby and daughter are August Leos, so I'm extra thrilled to recognize a few more Leos like Canadian model Winnie Harlow, Marion Shields, who's Michelle Obama's mother, and Barack Obama, who shares the same birthday as Meghan on August 4th. So happy birthday to any other Leos out there. Woohoo! So, what am I going to talk about today? It's my debut as a podcast contributor to Meghanpedia. I usually write articles and will continue to do so, but now we're hitting you up in another medium with audio. So I hope you like it. My style will be to stick to about 3 issues, Meghan related issues on the podcast, and I'll keep my 2 cents to about, let's say, 15 to 30 minutes, because I don't want to wear you out. We can talk about Meghan all day long. So today's agenda, I'm going to focus a little bit about supportive networks versus toxic networks, and Meghan versus the Queen, and then wrap it up with the fundraiser for Camfed. So much praise has been shown recently to Tyler Perry and in the past to Serena Williams when they were interviewed with that gotcha question about Harry and Meghan. And they both firmly pushed back with a little bit of humor to protect their friends' privacy. And so everyone's like, hey, good friendships, good friends. They're allies, and they understand not just the need, but the priority to safeguard their friends' boundaries. But on the other side, you have those who flippantly say that it's the price to pay for being a celebrity, that without this media attention, Harry and Meghan wouldn't be in demand or popular, that this is what they get for leaving the security of the royal institution. And I say bull poop. There are celebrities, from the rising star to those with the big persona, who thrive on media coverage. Let's think about The Rock. He gets great media coverage. It's good, it's supportive, it uplifts. But what is happening to Harry and Meghan, mainly in the tabloids, but also leaking into the mainstream, is harassing, it's vindictive, and duplicitous. In other words, it's toxic to the core and should be avoided and put firmly in their place, even by legal means, as we are seeing now with Meghan and with Harry. We must thrive in our lives and in the world. It's an aim that Meghan shared in the documentary African Journey. It's not enough to survive. We must thrive. And life isn't a solo mission, despite our solo journey into the world at the end of our lifespan. We come in alone, we leave alone. But between those years of hopefully a long life, we rely on parents, guardians, relatives, siblings, friends, even spiritual advisors. Who will nurture and mentor and offer friendship and help in our development as humans. No one knows the exact ratio of nature versus nurture. But how we face the world, the choices we make, the way we react to challenges, our capacity to improve ourselves comes from our own personality, but it also comes from the interactions we've had with people through our lives. And one element of a successful human is their supportive network. Look at Michelle Obama and her close relationship with her mother, Marion. She talks about her mother, her parents overall, but we're going to focus on mothers. She's talked about her mother, who nurtured her in an environment where she could question the adult, could give her opinion, wasn't relegated to being the child who kept quiet. Thandie Newton talks about her close relationship with her mother, who supported her as she was, as a child, going through various forms of bias and, racist acts and, just people who just did not want to support her. And we've seen Orsine Price, who's Serena and Venus's mother, who may not have been on the tennis court with them like their father, but who is a strong and loving figure in their lives, and now in her granddaughter Olympia's life. So we move on to Doria, Meghan's mom, Doria Ragland, who is not only a parent, but is clearly a friend to her daughter. Their closeness is undeniable, with that much circulated photo of Meghan hugging her mother when Doria graduated from university. We've seen footage of them chatting and laughing at events, sharing in their passion of community activism at other events. And when the pre-wedding storm brewed and spilled onto the day of the wedding, she was a picture of serenity and pride, sitting opposite the dysfunctional clan that could only be united when it was to punish an outsider, usually the women more than the men. And that brings me to the toxic systems under the guise of supportive network. Now, the royal firm would like us all to believe that they were supportive, that they could fit the role of ally or friend. But their definition of being an ally or a friend is patterned after a relationship of someone who's a bully or, in the extreme, as an abuser. In this case, an emotional abuser. They will treat you kindly as long as you know your place, as long as you follow their lead, as long as you don't stick out, as long as you don't outshine. And the minute that you fail in any of these edicts, you will be punished with microaggressive behavior. Overt actions is being ignored. We've seen William ignore Meghan when she's trying to talk to him. And we've seen them destroy images and reputation with the widely held belief that leaks were coming from the firm. And Meghan had to endure this toxicity on a daily basis, whether one-on-one with the royals, whether it came from the courtiers, and from the media, where people like Piers seems to have a hard-on for Meghan that makes him sound mentally impaired and stalkerish with his vile verbal abuse. But while the firm is the institution of shitty people, I can't forget to include Thomas, Meghan's father. From Meghan's interviews and photos of her and her father, we can presume they had a normal father-daughter relationship. She talks about him being proud of her and her accomplishments. Somewhere along the way, things happened. Harry never met Thomas, although they spoke on the phone. In many families, relationships shift, and that's no big deal. But most families don't have a parent go to the extent that Thomas has gone and probably will continue to go to tear down their child. I don't care about the manipulations done to get him to not show up to the wedding. He's not 5 years old. He's not a sheltered man who never has been out in the world. He's not living under the rock and suddenly came out into civilization and doesn't understand the enormity of what his daughter is about to undertake. Interview after interview, Thomas stepped into the role of an abuser. He didn't seem to care what his daughter was publicly or privately enduring, didn't seem to care about her well-being while pregnant and after she gave birth. He wanted to dominate the conversation, the mood. He wanted to paint the picture that he was the victim. He wanted her submission. Just like the royal clan, he wanted her reputation to be damaged by his lies that she didn't financially support him. And to top it off, he, an abuser, wanted her to apologize to the Queen, another abuser, for living her life. It is toxicity and madness at its highest form because it's her dad. This man, who we give the patriarchal stereotypes of honor and valor and protects women and children and all that jazz. That man was none of these things, at least not in this current resemblance of a father. And we have the half siblings who march in lockstep with their father's toxicities. I think those who advocate that Meghan should make up with her father need to really think about a couple of things. Like, really, would you advocate for your sibling to return to an abuser? Would you stick around in an abusive relationship? Would you open the door to your family and let an abuser in? An abuser doesn't have to be physical. And although you can certainly have physical reactions to emotional abuse, what Meghan was suffering is from strong emotional abusers. Now, it is up to Meghan to make that decision to reconcile with her father. But using her lack of dealing with her father as a reason to hate on Meghan is another case of bull poopy. So I'm now going to move on to the next topic, Meghan versus the Queen. And have you noticed that Meghan is the reliable villain who can be used to stir up haters and trolls on cue? So this time it's the Queen, because Meghan, along with Harry, has crushed the Queen with their departure, has crushed the Queen because she can't see Archie, has crushed the Queen with their speech at the Commonwealth Trust event. Give me a break. This woman is 94 years old. She's been raised to believe her monarchy is ordained by God, that her blood is pure just because, that the world of brown and black people are hers to play with, destroy, celebrate, do whatever she wants. She has folks genuflecting and not turning their back on her. She witnessed her uncle's abdication. She's married a fellow racist who's part of the family tree. She's tried to wrangle her wild sister in compliance repeatedly. She's seen several of her kids' marriages flop. And she's accepted a side hoe into the family. And we can go on and on. But all of this against Meghan, who's supposed to be the problematic one. This queen can flick her wrist and stuff gets done. She can sign a letter and someone gets dismissed, no questions asked. She can have judges talk to, folks don't get prosecuted for legit crimes. And yet, Meghan is the problematic one. Y'all need to stop letting those Princess Diary stories go to your head, and it's not a good look when grown-ass women pine to be the next princess or queen. Maybe go watch Handmaid's Tale and see how ridiculous you are with these fantasies of turning into the British Rose and the royal vagina for a reality show of idiots. Meghan isn't the problematic one for saying enough is enough. She knows who she is now and who she strives to be in the world. She is not the problematic one for having self-respect and confidence to stand at the side of her husband with her child in hand and say, we are leaving this hell for good. So, let's close now. And as I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about the fundraiser for Camfed. And this fundraiser is inspired by Meghan's and Harry's birthdays. And Camfed is an international non-governmental nonprofit organization founded in 1993 whose mission is to eradicate poverty in Africa through the education of girls and the empowerment of young women. The programs operate in Zimbabwe, Zambia, Ghana, Tanzania, and Malawi. Over 90% of every dollar Camfed spends goes to the programs. Lucky recipients will be able to attend a one-year vocational training course. The donations have now hit, I think, the $40,000 mark, and I'm sure we haven't seen anything yet. So please follow them on Instagram Their name is CAM as in Mary, F as in Frank, ED as in dog. And donate if you can, because a little goes a long way. So on that note, this is Mich Monk signing out until we meet again, Ubuntu, which means I am because you are. Everything I do has an effect on you, and everything you do has an effect on me. Let's do good, champion good, and be good.